Alrighty, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our second ever family night here on DSPGaming. I, of course, am here with my lovely wife, Kat, and our pet Jasper kitty is on the floor in a bread position. He looks like a loaf of bread on the floor relaxing. And we did this in a surprise stream last week, right? It shocked all of you. You were all like, oh my god, Kat is on the stream for the first time for 5.5 years. And it went really well. We had a lot of fun doing it, and I actually asked Kat this week, I said, do you want to come back and do another stream? It's up to you. It's an open door for you. And she thought about it for a few days, and after a few days, she says, yeah, I'll come back. Let's do it on Wednesday night. Let's relax and end your streaming week with just a chill kind of hangout stream, and that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. But let's just lay down the ground rules before we start, all right? Number one, these are questions that are supposed to be like a casual hangout session. This is not super ultra personal. Please don't be asking crazy personal questions. We have the ability to skip or not answer any questions that you toss our way. All right, this is not an interrogation or anything like that. Number two, this is not the place to be asking about, what about this documentary? What games are you going to be playing this year and stuff like that? You know, those questions are things for another day. This is for us to kind of hang out and answer questions, particularly if you have a lot of questions for Kat. Obviously, that would be tonight would be the night for that because she's here. You don't have to be asking me questions specifically and stuff like that. As you can see, we switched sides from last week. I was over there, but because of that, I couldn't really reach anything. Now I'm easily able to man this. I can update the leaderboard on the fly. I can read emails. I can read the chat. I can read everything quickly and easily. It's just weird because I look like I'm off to the side now, right? It looks a little odd, but like I said, what we need to do is we need to perfect this. I'm on a stool that's terrible, a terrible flimsy plastic stool, and we need to get something better, especially because as we told you last week, our plans are actually to do a co-op playthrough of the island mode, simulation mode, whatever it's called, in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and I gotta have a better seating situation than this in order to do it. So we're gonna look tomorrow when we're out and see if we can find a stool or an ottoman or something quick that we can grab and have for the setup, because this does not feel comfy and it's kind of weird and off to the side, okay? All right, so let's start. We already have a few shout-outs to do. The way it's gonna go is we're gonna do shout-outs, then we're gonna read questions from the chat. In addition to that, we have a thread of questions that people posted up early in case they couldn't be here tonight. So I might go to that as well. If we run out of questions or things to do in the chat, we have a separate thread that we can reference, okay? All right, so we're actually going to start off tonight with a tip here. It looks like there's a $10 tip from Sir Ed Sheeran the Pure. And he asks, will we ever go on a couples game show? I don't even know what couples game shows even exist anymore. Are there even any? Like, when I was growing up, you know, there were a few different game shows that I would watch, but even then, like, I mean, we're talking, like, outdated ones. Like, I'm not talking, like, current ones. Yeah, I used to watch, like, what was it, like, the $25,000 Pyramid and stuff like that. I'm not even aware of any game shows that are couple shows. Are you aware of any current TV shows or whatever? Right? No. So, I guess the answer would be no, unless you guys have suggestions. I mean, no, obviously we're not going to put our names out there or anything like that. It's kind of a silly question. Thank you for the first contribution of the night. Only Iced Coffee, thank you for re-upping your membership for 32 months. He said, not much to say other than I respect Kat a lot. There you go. You get some respect for coming back and being on the streams after so long. So thank you, Only Iced Coffee, for all that support. Shadow Dancer, with the first super chat of the night, says, hey guys, good to see Kat again. Thank you, Shadow Dancer, for that. And then Cloudy did a $1 super chat there. Thank you to Cloudy. Appreciate that very much. And I actually have the keyboard right in front of me, so I could type it right away. And I'm not juggling things here, which is good. So it should go much smoother this week, okay? All right, so that's it for contributions so far. If any more come in, we're going to shout them out. But in the meantime, if you want to tag me in the chat at DSPGaming to ask us questions. The one topic we'll probably talk about tonight at some point is that we played the Tekken 8 demo last week, right? And you really liked it. So I'm sure people might ask about that. But outside of that, let's see what else you guys want to talk about. So here you go. Derek is asking, I've lived in Seattle about 10 years. You've now lived in Seattle about 6 years?
Yeah.
It was early 2018, yes. So what is it that we like about living in Seattle? I'll let you answer first, and then I'll answer anything personally. But what do you like about living here in general?
I mean, we don't get crazy snowstorms or freezing temperatures like on the East Coast.
Right.
But
terrible weather. Extreme weather.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd say that's a positive.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
That's it? That's all you like?
Food, I guess.
Well, what kind of food that's out here do you like?
Well, there's a lot of Asian food, like sushi places, and I don't know. I mean, the thing is like there's ups and downs to living anywhere.
That's right.
So,
well, he's just asking, what do you like about being?
Yeah,
here,
the food,
right?
the food, and the weather is nicer.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously negatives too, but
yeah.
you know.
No, for me, it's been a couple quick things. Number one, everything here is easily within a drivable distance, and you don't have to drive long distance to really do anything.
Yeah, that too.
Anything we need, a grocery store is around the corner, a pet store, an electronic store, electronic store, grocery store, anything you can think of that you need. And we haven't driven on the highway since you moved here, not once, right? We haven't had to.
I don't think so.
Because everything is so close. I mean, the furthest we drove, I think, was to a doctor appointment that was like an hour away. And that's like the furthest out we've gone. You don't have to. When I lived in Connecticut, you'd have to drive halfway across the state to get to half the stuff. It was frustrating. The other thing that I like about being out here is there's less people here than there were when I lived in Connecticut. It was very population dense. So anytime that I went out to do anything in Connecticut, you're sitting there in bumper-to-bumper traffic trying to drive around this already tiny state, and it was just a nightmare getting around. Here, you can get from point A to point B without too much traffic as long as it's not like rush hour. So those would be my two positives. And, of course, Connecticut had a state income tax, and here there is no state income tax. There is a business tax that I pay because I operate a business here, but it's very different. But then again, our sales taxes here are higher, so it's kind of a trade-off. But I think I'd rather spend more on taxes because I choose to spend my money rather than just take it right out of my paycheck, which is what they were doing in Connecticut. So that's one of my major differences. So, okay, we have a second tip coming in tonight, a $20 tip from Ponage 101. He says, hello to Phil, Kat, and Jasper. Great to see you all back again, and great to see you back, Kat. Awesome. Thank you very much, Ponage. That is the second tip of the night. Let's get you up on the leaderboard. Jasper is in here. He was actually jumping on the chair earlier, but he just decided to lay on the floor. He's on the floor right now. If he jumps up on the chair again, which he might, you know, he doesn't particularly stay in one place for too long. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you very much, Ponage. All right. Let's see here. So it looks like we got a couple super chats, but give me a second to get back over there. Because for some reason the leaderboard takes forever to update these days. So we have Demon in the corner did a super chat. He says, Kat, don't be tense. Relax. It's going to be a nice relaxing stream tonight, he said. So there you go. And Mr. Game Master with a super chat tonight. Thank you, Game Master, for the super chat as well. Let's get you up on the leaderboard, and then we'll see what else people have to say. Okay. Here we go. All right, let's see here. Okay, this is a question for you. Now, I don't know if you've ever done this before. Curly Fox says, I don't know if you've said you never gamed much in the past. Did you ever play Pokemon? And what would your starter Pokemon pick be? Did you ever play Pokemon before? And did you have a starter Pokemon in any of them?
No, I don't remember. If I did, it was so long ago. I haven't played Pokemon recently.
Yeah. So. Do you have any Pokemon that you like particularly? I mean, you probably watched me play it a few times, right?
No.
No? No? Okay. Be honest. If you don't really care about Pokemon, you don't care about Pokemon, right? Okay. All right. Midwest Man says, how do you like your coffee? How do you drink your coffee when you have a coffee?
Usually like flavored creamer.
Mm-hmm. Like what flavor?
Well, right now I tried that peppermint mocha flavor. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Or hazelnut.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Me, I just drink it black because I used to drink coffee when I had an office job, and I would load it up. I would put creamer, I would put sugar, I would put everything, and it was so many calories that I mean, you guys remember the old videos of me, how fat I was and everything. So when I drink coffee now, I just drink a black cup of coffee because all I want is the energy boost from it. That's it. That's the only reason I'm drinking it. I'm not drinking it for flavor. I'm not drinking it for anything else. So zoop, down the hatch and done. So there you go. Cloudy with another super chat here. Thank you, Cloudy, for the super chat. Spidey, that would never work. He says, why don't we get a third stool and put it between us for Jasper? Jasper is not the kind of cat that just sits in one spot. In fact, as we just said that, he stood up, scratched, repositioned, and moved to a different spot on the floor. He is not a cat that, unless he's dead asleep, he's never, just sitting in the same spot. Just be honest, okay? So, do you have any particular chocolates that you like? Do you have like a favorite brand of chocolate or type of chocolate, right?
I guess the Hershey's with the almonds.
Hershey's, the milk or dark chocolate? What do you like?
I mean,
better?
I prefer dark chocolate because it's not as sweet, and I don't like overly sweet things. I don't eat a lot of sugar, but when I do, I prefer to have dark chocolate because it's not as sweet.
Okay, dark chocolate or something with almonds in it. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys know the answer for me. I just love all chocolate. I've already answered that question a million times. I actually just love any kind of chocolate. I'm a chocoholic, and I'm addicted to it, and that's my candy. Like, I prefer to eat anything with chocolate, and I really don't eat candy without it. So, Bloomkid did a super chat. He said, so for video games, do you prefer a sci-fi setting, a fantasy setting, or a modern setting when you're playing an RPG? And do you have a favorite? So sci-fi, fantasy, or modern? What would be your preference?
Fantasy.
Fantasy?
Yeah.
Now, when you say that, you mean like medieval?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a particular reason why? Do you just like the knight aesthetic more?
Yeah.
Or magic and stuff like that over a sci-fi?
It's more fun. Like, for instance, like, I like Elder Scrolls more than... I mean, I like Fallout a lot, but if I had to choose, I would choose Elder Scrolls over Fallout because it's a more... Like, I like the magic. I like the different races. You know, I like just that kind of thing. The aesthetic is better.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. Dentronics re-upped their membership for 2 months. And Dentronics, this is a question for Jasper Kitty. Now, Jasper is falling asleep. His eyes are drooping. So we'll have to answer it for his behalf, I guess. His question is, what is your favorite litter style, scented or non? And we can answer this because we've actually tried various different litters over the years with him. And the one he likes the best actually is, what is it? Is it like rose and what is the scent? It's something with hemp in it, isn't it? Or something like that?
No, it's like, I don't even remember. It's like Clean Paws or something, or I don't know.
No, well, it's Clean Paw, but what was the scent? Remember it had a particular scent to it?
Rose scent? I don't know.
I think it had hemp in it. It had, I swear it had hemp or something in it.
Yeah.
And it's weird because we've tried all these different ones, right?
Yeah.
And then that particular one seems to like calm him down when he uses it for whatever reason. When he, it seems to be, and plus it makes the house smell really good too compared to some of the other scents. They smell more like a very like strong deodorizer odor, and that one smells more like a nice scent for the house in general, I think. But,
okay. Well, I like the Gain scent. They have a Gain scent one, too.
Well, you prefer the Gain scent, right?
Yeah.
They have a one that smells kind of like the Gain detergent, right?
Yeah.
And so that one is one that we've gotten it over the years, too. Oddly enough, when we go to the pet store, they don't usually consistently have the same one. Like, when we like one, we'll buy it for like 6 months, and then they just won't have it anymore. So then we have to buy a different one. We have to keep swapping. So we don't have, like, one consistent, litter that we've had for like years because we have to every year change it depending on what they have at the store for some odd reason. I don't know what's up with that. Okay. Looks like we got a tip that came in here. Let's give that a look. We got a $5 tip from Andre, and he says, Phil encounters humorous moments all the time during gameplay, whether it be part of a story or a game bug. Do you encounter such moments yourself when you game? Is it something common to you to run into game bugs?
Oh, all the time. They're just not as memorable because I'm playing it by myself. So,
Right.
You're playing it on a stream with a bunch of people to laugh about it.
Right.
I laugh about it, but it's like, I don't really remember it in my head because...
Well, the game that you have probably complained the most about recently with game bugs would be Starfield, right?
Oh, that's the most recent one.
Yeah. And what would you what were some of the things you were encountering in that were driving you nuts?
Well, basically the game was freezing on me every 40 minutes or so, like 30 to 40 minutes, the game would freeze up.
Right.
Or it would just plain crash, and then like I said, you have to constantly save in that game because then sometimes if you don't save, it'll just crash and it'll just lose progress. And,
right.
Bad frame rate. I mean, I've lost.
That's common on consoles. The frame rate was terrible on consoles, right?
Yeah, it was just terrible.
Okay. This is up to you if you want to answer this or not. Dan did a super chat saying, "What is your favorite quality about DSP?" First of all, you can call me Phil. My name is Phil, not DSP. Yes, it's DSP on my gaming streams, but this is a real stream of the two of us just kind of hanging out. You can call me Phil. Do you have any favorite qualities about me that you would like to share? If not, you don't have to. This is, no pressure here or anything. Okay? No.
Funny?
Funny?
Yeah.
Okay. She thinks I'm funny. That's good. That's good, right? Okay. Levi did a super chat. Says, "Hey, Phil, I've been a big fan all the way since your original Dead Space 1 playthrough. I've now graduated college. All the love, my man. Let's have a great 2024. Well, thank you so much to Levi very, very much for the super chat. And I'm glad that I've entertained you for so long. I mean, you're talking a good 15 plus years, right? I mean, that was 2008. The original Dead Space 1 playthrough when it was a brand new game. So that's amazing. And thank you for watching for so long. Okay. Let's continue. Now, I know you guys are asking questions, but they've all scrolled off the screen. So if you tag me again... No, you may not call me Philip. That is not allowed. It's against the rules. Let's see here. A question for us both. I started playing the Yakuza series with Zero. Who do you like more, Kiryu or Goro? Goro Majima. So, which character do you like better?
Kiryu.
Why do you like Kiryu better?
He just has a better backstory, or more interesting backstory, I think.
Okay. For me, I mean, it's Kiryu for me, and the reason is he's always been the protagonist. Goro's been a semi-protagonist for several games. But he's kind of like the wild card character, like they say. What do they call him? The Mad Dog or whatever. And he's like nuts and he just goes crazy in combat. And I get the appeal of that, almost like a psychopath. But at the same time, I prefer to have a more stable main character. And Kiryu's been through so much and had ups and downs over the years with all his storylines. So I'd like him better. Let's see here. Cloudy did a super chat. Says, are there any childhood games? Hold on. Any childhood games you'd like to get a genuine good remaster or a remake? For me, it would have been Crash Bandicoot, and that was fulfilled. Are there any games that you played when you were younger that you'd like to see come back and maybe be redone for a modern audience?
Did they ever do Donkey Kong Country? I don't think so.
They did a modern one over a decade ago. It was Donkey Kong Country Returns. And then they did Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
Yeah.
But the last one was like 10 years ago on the Wii U. So it's been ages since there's been one.
Yeah.
So you would like to see another Donkey Kong Country game for like the Switch?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, for me, when I think back to the games from my youth, most of them still exist. Mario still exists. Final Fantasy still exists. Street Fighter still exists in a modern capacity. So quite frankly, most of the games that you would think, oh, would it bring it back? They don't have to bring it back. Like, a lot of these are still long running. I'm just trying to think, like, what are some of my favorite games? I'd like to see the Mother series continue. Because, Earthbound is an amazing game, and then Mother 3 was never even localized in the U.S. So if they kept making them, that would be amazing, I think, in a modern era. That would be pretty sweet. But yeah, outside of that, maybe the Suikoden series. But again, they're remaking 1 and 2. Maybe if that does well, maybe they'll make a new one. Because I think they made 4 or 5 of them until they gave up, right? So there you go. Okay. Wow. On the tip side of things, a bunch of tips have rolled in. So if you guys could bear with me while I get through these one by one, and then we'll get back to the common questions here. We have a $5 tip from Super Snow Carl Turbo HD Remix, who says, "Don't mind me. I'm going to try to fall asleep tonight with your voices in the background. I have sinus pressure above my eye. I'm going to medicate and then join with Jasper and crash as well." Wow. Look at him.
Yeah.
Jasper has gone completely stretched out and flat on the floor, as if he's like a deflated tire or balloon. So, there you go. Jasper's relaxing. I hope you feel better there. Super Snow Carl Turbo HD Remix. Thank you for the tip. All right. Continuing on here. It looks like there was a $4.11 tip. Okay, so this person asked, this is for both of us, I guess. What non-gaming, non-food stuff do you guys like to do? For example, my wife and I do all kinds of stuff. Notably, they apparently have a farm that they run, which is pretty
cool.
crazy. So do you want to take that? Like, what kind of stuff do we do outside of just gaming, right?
Well, we have our day off, and I mean, we like to watch shows together.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah.
And it's not consistent. Like, we don't watch narrative-based shows. Usually we're watching, like, a reality show
or a game playthrough.
That's right. See, that's what I was just going to say. It's not always just a show on, like, a TV station. We're watching, as I've told you guys over the years, now we've begun to watch other YouTubers and Let's Players, and it's varied. And we're not going to name names because we know idiots would go out there and try to harass these people just because I said a name on a stream. But it could be any game. Like, recently we watched someone play Detroit Become Human, and then we went and while we're watching someone play Red Dead 2, because I started playing Red Dead 1, and then we started playing Red Dead 2, and all kinds of stuff going on. So, yeah. And, you know, at night we listen to some relaxing music, like, for the last half hour before, like, we go to sleep. We turn on some kind of relaxing music. Like, during Christmas, it was, like, Christmas themed. Now we're listening to jazz music and stuff like that. And that's been different over the years. Stuff that we've changed. So, okay. Continuing on, there's a $3 tip here. Would you guys consider watching Terrifier 1 and 2? Are you into over-the-top gory horror movies? Are you into over-the-top gory horror movies?
I'm not. No.
No, you don't even really like horror movies, right? You don't watch them at all.
I like psychological horror. I don't like
gore. Gore is the opposite of what you like when it comes to movies.
Not like,
right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, no. For me, here's the thing. Do I like gory movies? Not particularly. I don't look for gore in a movie. If it's part of a movie that's entertaining, then yeah, if it adds to the horror. Like, for me, when I think gore, I think like the 80s slasher films, right? You know, you think like Friday the 13th or, Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween and stuff like that. But no, I don't actively, I haven't seen Terrifier 1 and 2. I have no desire to see them. I've heard they're extreme gore for the sake of being extreme gore, and I don't really want to see that. That sounds gross. Okay. A $5 tip has come in from August. Did you ever work at a gas station? No, I haven't. Yeah, did you ever work at a gas station?
No.
No. So we have no experience working at any kind of a gas station or anything like that. Okay. Thank you to August for a $5 tip. I assume probably August asked. Maybe August works at a gas station or has in the past, perhaps, right? Could be the reason why. All right. Swinging back over to the YouTube side of things. Hold on, because I got indigestion. Excuse me. Sarah did a super chat and asked, this is for Kat, does Phil rage in real life like he rages when he's playing video games?
No.
Really? I'm not exactly the same in real life as I act on stream?
No.
You mean that possibly I may just be hamming it up for the camera every once in a while to be entertaining for an audience? Is that what you're getting at here?
Yes.
Yes. As I've told you guys, I'm not the same person. Outside of this office, I'm not exactly the same person that you see on camera. When you're on camera and you're raging at a fighting game or a freaking first-person shooter, that's one thing. But when I step out of this office, I don't take that with me, right? I don't. And I don't get easily pissed off and over-the-top angry outside of this house doing stuff like I do playing a game. It's a little different, okay? Cole, I appreciate the super chat. However, we're not going to answer the question. He said, what are your favorite places to eat out? I'm not going to answer that because we can't do that because there's people who stalk and do stupid shit. But I can say that we've had so many different kinds of food that we've had eaten out, right? You know, particularly around here, the Asian food is quite good. Ramen places, sushi places. There's a place nearby that has giant bowls of pho or pho, however you pronounce it, Vietnamese soup.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of great Asian food around here, particularly that's something that we do eat. But we're not going to sit here and name names because then people are going to be stupid about it, okay? Okay. Oh, let's see here. Just dumb questions here. I'm just going to start banning people outright. Let's see here. All right. I guess we can talk a little bit about the Tekken 8 demo. We got a couple people who've asked about it tonight. So last week when we had our day off together, we were just kind of, after having run all the errands and everything, we just sat down and Kat was looking for something to play because right now there's no major releases out. And the next game she's really highly interested in is Like a Dragon Infinite Will. And she's looking for something to play and she sees, demos, right? And she's going through all the demos on Xbox and she finds Tekken 8 and says, what the hell? I'll just download it. So what did you think about the demo? Like, when you played it, what were your impressions, and what did you like, and what caught your interest? Because I was surprised that you liked it as much as you did.
Well, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I'm not a huge fighting game person, but I was like, I'm gonna give it a try because it's something different,
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was. I mean, I was surprised as I was playing it. I was having a lot of fun, and it felt really smooth. Like, the graphics were good.
Mm-hmm.
The character. There's only 4 characters in the demo, so I mean, there's not like you have a lot of options to try different characters. But the ones that they did have, they were really fun to play with.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm kind of new to Tekken, so I don't remember the names specifically of the characters.
Well,
but
she started off with Kazuya.
yeah.
And then after having played a lot of the arcade mode with Kazuya, she started the story mode, and the story mode makes you play as Jin. So then she played with Jin for the story mode that was available. So it was Kazuya in the arcade mode and then Jin in the story mode. So
yeah.
And by the way, we should bring out that this is on the Xbox Series S. This is not the X. She plays on the S. And it ran beautifully. Like, it was smooth 60 frames per second the whole time. So you played the 2 modes that were available. Out of the 2 modes, the story mode and the arcade mode, which did you like better?
Well, I mean, the thing is the story mode is only like one short chapter, and most of it is an intro to the game. It's not actual gameplay. It's like one fight or something like that. So,
by the way, can you guys hear us fine? Because I forgot to ask them. That's totally my fault. Are we good? Are we in a good position? Do either of us need to get closer or whatever? Because I want to make sure you guys can hear us tonight. So if someone could tell me if we're sounding all right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just realized we hadn't mentioned it at all. Are we good? You guys can hear us good? Sound is good. Okay. All right, I'm sorry, continue. So you're saying the story is only one fight, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not like... And it's between the father and the son.
Right.
So, that was fun, but it's like... I played more of the other mode because there was more available for the... What was it? The arcade mode?
Yeah, I think that's what they're calling it. It's like arcade simulation mode, as if you're really a player going to an arcade to play the local competition.
Yeah, so obviously I feel like that one was longer. Like, there's more content in that one to play than there is the story mode. It's obviously they're not going to show you, for the demo.
They're not going to spoil the whole story in the demo. Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah, I would say I liked them both, but because I didn't really get a lot, like, I didn't get to play a lot of the story because there's no story to play. So, I will say, like, I like them equally, both.
So you think, I mean, honest question, do you think you're going to get it? Do you think you're interested in getting it and playing it from what you saw?
Yeah.
Because by the way, we should bring this up. The game has 32 characters. That's an insane amount of characters for the launch of any game. So you think, even if there's only 1 or 2 characters you like, you're probably going to end up finding another one eventually that may even plays differently that you like. You're going to have replayability, and that arcade mode lets you switch characters. So you're not stuck playing the same character the whole time. You can learn different characters and swap between them in that mode, which is kind of neat. Excuse me. Okay, so there you go. Thank you to Ryan. Ryan re-upped his membership for 8 months. He says, you bring entertainment to us, Phil. All right, well, I'm glad that you enjoy the entertainment, Ryan. Thanks for 8 months of support. Okay. Well, I mean, that's kind of a personal question, Demon in the Corner. But in general, if you wanted to answer it, I mean, you have a friend or two out here who's like people from your jobs and stuff.
I'm not going to talk about that because there's too many weirdos.
Exactly, that's the problem. As much as I'd like to say, sure, we have some friends and acquaintances out here and we hang out with them and we do this and that. Like, there's personal stories we could tell, but we're not, because then that involves them, and we have so many stalkers on the internet who are just nuts. They'd probably try to track these fucking people down and be malicious to them.
Right.
So we're not going to do that, okay? Oh, let's see here. So, FizzGeek, thanks for the super chat, but I think we've already kind of answered the question. He basically says, I've been following you since you started. You don't let the drama get to you, and you both are awesome. What hobbies do you have? I think we already answered that, right? Like, we like to watch other YouTubers do some playthroughs.
Yeah.
We're gamers. We watch some shows together, and that's for what allows with the time that we have together. You know what I mean? Like, I'm working a ton, and because of that, because I'm in here 6 days a week full time, we don't have a lot of time to do a big tons of other activities or whatever. Like that to change in the long term. By the way, here comes Jasper Kitty. Now, Jasper will have no clawing tonight, buddy. All right? Does anyone have a question for Jasper Kitty while he's here? Hurry up. Ask Jasper a question before he gets down. He wants to crawl on you because he's so used to crawling on me. I got him.
Yeah, don't let him
I got
crawl
him.
on me.
Don't. Hey, now, what are you doing with that foot? What are you doing with that foot? Release my arm. How dare you? He tried to get me with his foot. Okay. All right. Okay. Ponage 101. I'm trying to get caught up. I'm sorry. I missed a bunch of questions because it was flying by there and I was dealing with Jasper. I know Kat cooks a lot of cuisine. What would you say is your favorite kind of cuisine that you cook? Japanese, American, Greek, anything else? What is your favorite style of cuisine that you've made overall, do you think? Because you made a lot. You made Italian. You made Mexican. You've definitely made, a ton of American. You've definitely made some Japanese stuff, right? You've done a lot of different, cultural cuisines.
My favorite thing to make and to eat would be the Japanese curry. That would be my favorite thing.
There you go. And so that has pork, carrots, potatoes, and a curry powder, right? It makes it a curry sauce, and that's eaten over white rice. And it's absolutely delicious. And in fact, we're making that this week. We're going to have it as our dinner one day this week. So that'll be pretty cool. Let's see here. Does Jasper have any controversial opinions on politics? Yes. However, he's saving them. He is going to launch his own political channel after this coming election. So stay tuned for that on YouTube, of course, right? Last Frontier asked, does Cat prefer Companions or Thieves Guild? Mine is the Companions because I like the Werewolf Quest. What's your favorite guild in Skyrim? Excuse me.
The Thieves Guild is a great quest. I mean, I did like the Companions, but I like the Thieves Guild. I like the story and the characters of the Thieves Guild.
Cool.
In Skyrim, of course.
Skyrim, right. That's what we're specific, because that's the one you've played the most of, too. You did try other Elder Scrolls games, but you never really got into them, right? Which, I know you tried Oblivion when I started playing it, but you didn't really like it that much, right?
It's
like,
so old.
Too outdated for you? Okay. Let's see here. I guess let's jump back. We have a tip here. I don't want to miss it, because it came in a few minutes ago. A $2 tip from Slie. Do you guys like Jägermeister? Have you had Jägermeister?
No.
You never had it?
No.
Jägermeister's weird because it doesn't taste like other liquor, right? Like, it has this odd flavor to it. It's like, you'll swallow it once and be like, oh, it's kind of sweet. And you'll swallow it again and you'll be like, why does this taste like cough syrup? It's just weird. And I don't actively drink it. I didn't even know about it until, like, maybe in my mid-20s when I had roommates and they, like, drank different liquors and they introduced me to it and I did a few shots of it and I was like, nah. It's not good or bad. It just kind of exists. You know what I mean? So, no. Not a big Jaeger fan. All right. FizzGig did another super chat and asks, if you could travel anywhere, where would you want to go? Here you go. If you're free to travel anywhere, where would you like to visit?
Japan.
Mm-hmm. I've told them that you said that many times.
Yes,
they know that.
I know.
Now, where in Japan and why particularly?
Tokyo?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, anywhere in Japan.
Why particularly, though? Is it what makes you want to go to Japan over other places? Like me, honestly, my number one list would be Europe, like somewhere in Europe, because that's where my heritage comes from.
Yeah.
But, I agree with you. I think going to Japan would be fun.
I mean, I said last time, I was like, well, because of playing the Yakuza games.
Right.
And being immersed in that universe.
And then you played Persona as well.
Yeah, that too.
And that also kind of immerses you in that, even the food and stuff, right? Of that universe or whatever. Okay, there you go. So for me, I've always said this, like, Japan, awesome. Yeah, absolutely, I would do that. But I would one day like to do a tour of Europe, maybe. Like, they have that train that goes between all the major countries.
Right.
And to be able to take, like, a week and take, like, 2 days in one country, 2 days in the next, 2 days in the next, and spend, like, within a week, you get to see, like, 4 different countries and do fun cuisine and everything. I think that would be pretty neat. Okay. Let's see here. We've got...
some stupid idiot.
Yeah, just a moron. No worries. I got a $7 tip here. Again from August. Since I'm here, I might as well share. I like watching you, Phil, but I haven't recently. I do find Baldur's Gate 3 and Sea of Stars boring. So, big ups and to the mods for helping put in work tonight, and for Kat. And your makeup is on point tonight.
Thank you.
There you go. All right, thank you, August, for a $7 tip. And thanks for the nice words and compliments, right? Okay. Yeah, I hear you. Like, right now, personally, I understand. I'm juggling 2 RPGs. I'm trying to play Resident Evil along with it, but there's not much you can really do. We got other games. We got Tekken 8. That's going to be huge and different, right? But then I'm also going to be playing Like a Dragon, so it's another RPG. So I hear you. This is like the year of RPGs. It's insane, the amount of RPGs that are coming out within like a 4-month period. I don't know why these game devs think that's a good idea. I personally think it's a terrible idea. It's too many RPGs at once. Like, you have to pick and choose. Like let's be honest, right? If this were a different year, first of all, we both love Like a Dragon, so we would play that regardless, right? But Persona 3, the remake, is on Game Pass, and it comes out the week after frickin' Like a Dragon.
Oh.
Now, if you weren't playing Like a Dragon, you probably would have checked that out, right? Because it's free. It's on Game Pass. You played Persona 4. You loved it. But how are you supposed to play 2? How do you play 2 RPGs at once like that? It's insane. Like, it's too much time consuming. I don't know what they're thinking. Releasing those games so close together. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. Continuing on. We got a $2 tip here. From Marcus, he says, Kat, did you ever own an N64 growing up? What was your favorite game for the Nintendo 64 if you played one?
I did. I think, I know Mario 64. I played a lot of that.
Yeah, 'cause that's the one that it came with it. So, I mean, I think everyone played the crap out of that one, right? Did you have any other games for it, or just that? Is that the only one you remember?
I think, I mean, it was forever ago. So that's the only one I remember. I mean, I know there were other games, but it was so long ago.
Okay.
You know.
All right. Fair enough. A big $50 tip came in from Lisa Lou. I love your outfit tonight, Kat.
Thank you.
There you go. Complimenting you on your wardrobe tonight. Thank you, Lisa Lou, for a $50 tip. Biggest contribution of the night there. Well, Lord Prince Albert, once again, he's asking a question. It's up. You don't have to answer questions like this. He says, does Phil have any interesting quirks that we don't know of? Does he put his socks on first before he puts on his pants or underwear?
What?
I know. Is there any weird quirks that I have that people should know about?
It's kind of... I don't know how to answer these questions.
I know. Here's the thing, all right? Kat and I... There's certain kinds of couples, right? And certain couples are very kind of back and forth, razzing each other and stuff like that. Quite honestly, we're just not like that. All right? We're just not. We don't go back and forth making fun of each other, razzing each other. We just kind of like relaxing, enjoying things together at the same time. You know, I help her with a game if she's playing it or whatever. You know, watch a play. We're not constant a couple that goes back and forth in that kind of a relationship. Some people are, and that's fine if you are. We're just not. So when you ask a question like that, you understand we just don't have an answer. Like, no, there's nothing particularly about her that bothers me that I want to tell you guys, and now we can laugh and make fun at each other, and then she'll make fun of me. It's not like that. You understand? So, appreciate the super chat, but there's not going to be answers to those kind of questions, honestly. All right? Okay. Let's see. Well, I guess this is an interesting question from Naja. Do you ever play Zelda games, and what's your favorite one if you've played them? Did you ever play a Zelda game before? I think you had mentioned you did, right?
I played Ocarina of Time. That
see?
was my first
that
one.
was N64.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
okay,
see?
yeah.
So I guess that would be an N64 game.
Yeah.
Is that the only one you've ever played?
I think so. I mean, no, I think I played the... Yeah, I think so. I'm not really big into Nintendo or Zelda anymore.
Right.
I'm
Well,
just
I mean,
not.
you don't own the console of Nintendo in ages,
I mean,
right?
when I grew up, I played those, but I just don't play them anymore.
Right.
You know.
Well, I see Haseo. He wants us to ask Jasper if he's going to meow again on stream, but Jasper has left the room. He's out there in the hall. If he comes back in, we'll grab him and ask him, Haseo, or if you see him, remind us. I would assume the answer is yes. The question is when. He is such... I mean, you can tell them. How often does Jasper talk?
A lot.
Right? Tons. All over the house. And for some reason, when he comes in here, he like zips the lip. He clams up. I don't know if he's camera shy or whatever. Maybe, I mean, I don't think he understands what the camera is. Maybe it's the lighting. But he almost never talks when he's in here. But when we're out of here walking around the house, he'll walk right up to us. Meow, meow, meow. No matter what we're doing. He'll walk up and say meow, meow, meow. Out of nowhere. You know? Okay. Let's see here. We got another tip to shout out. So I guess we'll do that. And then we'll go back to the general Q&A here. So this is Darkside Chris. He says, I'm still alive. Yes, Darkside Chris is from Hawaii, actually. I remember. He says, first of all, $15 tip. Thank you for that. Do I have thoughts on Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero? No, I don't. I have no thoughts on any Dragon Ball game at this point. I'll be honest with you, Chris. I'm kind of burnt out on Dragon Ball. I don't really care about it. Dragon Ball is pretty played out for me. Now that I'm in my 40s, Like, I don't think about it anymore. I have no desire to watch it again. I've played 5 zillion games of Dragon Ball. Even as a YouTuber, I've probably played like 5 Dragon Ball games over the years. And I just don't really see the appeal of playing the millionth one. That's the same plot, the same characters. You know what I mean? And then people say, well, why don't you get into Dragon Ball Super? Well, again, I'm not really into it. It's been so long. I don't really care about that.
You know this.
Oh, I know. Baby, don't worry about that. And what are you going to do? It's just a troll. Don't pay attention to him. All right, we'll take care of him. He's a moron. You don't have to be bothered by that guy.
No, I'm bothered by him.
Yeah, we'll get him.
Yeah.
We'll get him when we see him. But yeah, no, I really don't give a crap about Dragon Ball. I'll be honest, Darkside Chris, it's not that I hate it or anything. I just have no interest in it anymore. You know, we've covered it so extensively over the years. You know what I mean? All right. Let's see here. Let's start answering more general questions now. Let's see here. Okay. Well, okay. We got Dan did a super chat, but I already answered this earlier today. He says, how old is Jasper? We don't know the answer to that because we rescued Jasper from a shelter, and the shelter we rescued him from didn't have paperwork that had any background history on him. Like, we don't even know where he's from. We wish we did. You know, his previous owners front declawed him only, which is weird that it would only be a front declawing. We don't agree with declawing of any kind. And the reason he was at that shelter, we were told by the worker at the shelter that he'd been there for a while because people didn't want the idea of a front declawed cat. They wanted a cat that was indoor and outdoor. Mm-hmm. And he can't be outdoor ever. He has no claws to defend himself. So because of that, he was kind of, stuck there for a while. Now, when we rescued him, and this was, 5-6 years ago, they said he could have been 2.5, he could be 3. They didn't know, right? So if you do math, you figure he could be probably age range anywhere between like 8 to maybe like 10. Like, we don't know. We have no idea realistically because we don't have the data. I wish we did. Because it sucks not knowing how old your pet is, when their birthday is, and stuff like that.
I think they said he was 3 when we got him.
I think they had said they thought he was probably, that was their middle guess was 3.
Yeah.
So, again, he's probably like 8 or 9, maybe 10. Again, dependent on the range there. So. Doug also did a super chat tonight and says, hello, Filling Cat. What's going on, Doug? How's it going? Good evening, and thank you for the super chat. Okay. Let's see here. Big Mac did a super chat. What are our favorite games of all time? Do you have overall favorite games that you think of all time that you like to go back and play or that you think about?
Do we want to answer the questions again? Because we all answered last week.
Here's the thing. These people they do this to me every day. They ask me the same questions. Well, it's not always the same people on the stream. It's up to you. If you don't want to answer again, you don't have to.
No, I don't mind answering. I was just like, I don't want to bore people with the same, questions. Or, answers. Mm-hmm. Same questions, same answers.
Right. But, so what was your answer? What was your answer from last week?
Favorite game?
Yeah, like your overall favorite game or games you think of some of the best of all time. By the way, be careful because you did kick the camera down. Make sure it doesn't wiggle. There we go.
I liked Alan Wake 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was of last year, right?
Oh, you mean like ever?
Yeah, like what are your favorite games you've ever played of all time? Maybe games you like to go back to every once in a while or something.
Skyrim, but there's only so many times you can play that game without getting bored. As much as it's a great game, I guess any, like Fallout 3 is a good one to go back to. And there's just so many. You like the open world RPGs a lot.
Yeah. Those are the ones you like.
Yeah,
I do. Immersed in the world.
Because those ones you can go back and replay.
Right.
There's not. There's other ones that are just.
Right.
You play them once and that's it.
For me, I don't have absolute favorites. I have favorites by genre. So if you ask me what's my favorite fighting game, I'll say Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. If you ask me what's my favorite platformer, I'll say Super Mario World. But I don't have an overall game that's the absolute best. It's kind of like everything in my life. I don't play favorites like that because I like variety. Because I like variety. I don't like to just play the same game all the time. Eat the same food all the time. Do the same activity all the time. It gets boring, right? I like mixing it up and alternating between, and that way I don't get bored. So.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, Jasper Kitty. Did you guys hear it? It was very low. Jasper Kitty. Jasper Kitty.
No, he's got to be up here to hear it.
Did you guys hear? He did meow. He did meow, but he was on the floor, so you probably didn't hear it. Jasper Kitty. Jasper. He won't do it now. No. He did meow. So we tried, Hiseo. We tried. And he did do it, but it was too low to the ground. You probably didn't hear it at all. All right. We got a $5 tip from an anonymous tipper. No message attached to it. Just an anonymous $5 tip. All right. Thank you for the anonymous $5 tip. I appreciate that very much. And now I guess we'll go back to chat questions and see what the chat has to talk about. Remember, if we do slow down on chat questions, we also have people who post other questions in the thread, but I don't know if we'll get to that tonight or not. We'll see what happens. This is a silly question. It's totally up to you. People, here's the thing. You might not understand this because you're not on stream every day like me. People focus on a little thing that I tell a story about, and they obsess about it forever, okay? The Burger King chicken sandwich story, right? You remember how bad the chicken sandwich was, right? So now, Balloon Kid does a super chat. It says, do you want to tell the story from your perspective? Is there a big perspective difference between your side and my side of this story, right? You know, do you even care about that to address it?
I don't.
Okay, there's your answer, Balloon Kid. She doesn't care about the chicken sandwich. No one should. It's been over 2 years. We've all moved past the chicken sandwich. Maybe you haven't, and maybe other people haven't, but I don't think anyone really cares about it, okay? Thanks. Okay, continuing on. Let's see here. Do we have any funny memories of Jasper that we remember? I mean, my general answer to that is no, and the reason being, we have funny things with him all day, every day, right? Yeah. Like, he's an active cat. He's always up with us. He's a very social cat. He's always involved with everything we're doing. So it's not like, oh, there's a memory of this funny thing to happen. No, every day there's so much going on. I don't have, again, I'm not someone who has these absolute memories or anything, right? Do you have any particular things in your memory of funny things he's done over the years or anything?
Like, one thing? Not really.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Any patterns or things that he does that you find funny?
Well, he could... I don't know. I can't think of anything.
All right. It's fine. If it's no big deal if you don't want to answer the question, you know. No. It's not if it's nothing special. Right. Okay. What?
I don't know what that means.
I don't even know either, so I'm just going to get rid of it. I don't know what it means, so goodbye. Okay. Let's see here. Do you have any ghost stories? Look at this. Do you have any ghost stories or stories of the supernatural or anything like that? Have you ever had like a supernatural experience?
All the time. Yeah.
No. So I guess the answer is no. No. Did you ever play Morrowind before?
No, Morrowind is before.
That's
Oblivion.
Even before Oblivion.
That's even older.
Even older. Yeah. I tried and I played it for like, what was it, like a few weeks, like a month?
Yeah.
And I played it like 2 streams a week or something like that, and even then I got bored of it and I couldn't keep playing it. You know what I mean? I couldn't stand it.
It's so different from the modern ones, the modern Elder Scrolls games.
Good evening, Drew Corporation. How you doing tonight? Welcome to the stream. Okay. Well, I mean, here's a question for you if you'd like to answer. How was it working retail during COVID? What was that like?
Oh, Jesus.
Right?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is there... I mean, the thing is like... It just exposes you to how stupid people are.
Mm-hmm.
And how gross people are, you know? Like, and how unprepared people are to deal with, like, a virus. Like, we've never had a virus before.
Mm-hmm.
Before COVID. Like, COVID is the first virus to break out in America. And somehow it's this new thing. And everyone freaked out.
Yep.
And, you know, went and bought all the toilet paper and just acting like the world was going to end or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just a freaking disaster.
Yeah. Okay.
So...
No particular stories or anything that come to mind that you want to tell?
No, I mean, there's tons of stories, but, you know, I mean, there's so many of them that it would take forever to tell them all. There's just people being stupid and gross and, you know, thinking that, I'm not gonna get all political, but, you know.
That's fine.
Just saying.
You don't have to. You don't have to. No pressure. Okay.
But.
All right, we'll continue on. I got a $3 tip here from Super Still Carl Turbo HD Remix. Curious why trolls will tip you guys but think that you're somehow going to read it. They could have just bought a Subway sandwich with it instead. They could have did anything with it, you know. They think we were dumb or something. Like, why on earth would we waste time reading that nonsense? We're not dumb.
Nope.
It happens every day. I ignore it every day. This is no different than every day. So, thanks for nothing, stupid, you know. All right. Dan the Man has done a $6.66 tip, which is a unique animation of me with my butt on fire. I'll be coming on screen any moment here. Here we go. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah.
So thank you, Dan the Man, for that tip. I appreciate that. All right. And we're going to jump back to the chat in a second. Just let me update the leaderboard. Okay. Let's see here. FizzGig did a super chat asking, do we follow UFO stuff? I don't. I don't follow UFO news. No, I do not. I don't really care. My opinion is, if there is other life out there, great. And if there's not, oh well, I'm not really too concerned with it. My daily life does not really concern me with the existence of aliens, you know? I don't think it's really going to affect me either way, so I don't really care. But a lot of people are just, like, into it, you know, and following this news. Do you follow any UFO news?
No.
I didn't think so, no. We're a little busy with real life to worry about UFO stuff. Let's see here. Okay. Nosy Real Lives asks, were you ever into the God of War games? Are you not into Greek or Norse mythology? Well, I know you've played 2 games, right? So you played the last 2 God of Wars, right? Did you ever play any of the ones before that?
No, I didn't play the older ones.
Right. You only played God of War 2018 and onward, right?
Yeah.
And obviously you like those games, right?
Yeah.
You love them, actually. You told me some of your favorite games of those years.
They're very good.
But particularly, are you into Greek and Norse mythology at all? Like, outside of that? Or is it just what's involved with the games?
I mean, I think at the time when God of War came out, wasn't Assassin's Creed Valhalla out too? Or was it, like, close to that? Because
I don't remember the years, but I mean, they're all close. They definitely were close, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's just, there were so many games of Norse mythology at once, where it was, like, too much Norse mythology. And then God of War Ragnarok came out, which was an excellent game, but then that was also Norse mythology, so... I mean, it's good, I like it, but I'm not in love with it.
Right.
But I think it's interesting. I do like the different, like, learning about the different gods and stuff.
Okay,
so.
Cool. Let's see here. Someone, and I apologize, the name scrolled off the screen. Did you ever play any kind of a musical instrument at all in your life? At any time?
No, not fully. I tried to learn, but I never really had time or to really, like, fully learn any instruments. So.
Did you want to learn a particular instrument? Like, for me growing up, I actually always wanted to learn the guitar, and I never got to learn the guitar. It was just something I kind of wanted to do, and I never got around to it.
I would say for me, probably the violin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Classical.
Yeah.
Classical music. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Swinging back over to tips again, and then we're actually going to end up splitting the part in just a minute. An hour has already passed, if you can believe it. We got a $2 tip here. Oh, yeah. So, someone tipped $2. So I remember a long time ago you said you were watching The Incredible Dr. Pol together.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched My Cat from Hell or any other Animal Planet show, for example, The Crocodile Hunter or Dog Whisperer?
I don't know if you have. I have.
I have not. No, the only stuff I ever saw from Animal Planet was what we watched together. That's it.
That's it? Oh, I've seen a ton of them. My Cat from Hell is the Jackson Galaxy show.
Oh, I didn't even know that was his show.
So, yeah, he goes to people's houses and, like, people there, they'll have a problem with their cat or something, and usually they're, like, really mean cats. He has to, like, get them
He tries to calm them down.
Yeah.
By the way, don't mind me, my eye's burning right now. That's what I'm doing. It's freaking eye just started watering.
So yeah, he kind of just, like, and he gives them, like, a homework assignment to do so they can, like...
Try to get the cat to be more personable or more social and not be such an angry cat all the time.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I like that one the best, like, besides the Dr. Pol one.
I mean, we watched a ton of Dr. Pol for a while, to the point where we got, like, burned out, and we haven't watched it in years now,
Didn't we finish it? I thought we got close to finishing it.
I want to say you're probably right, but I think that we only got up to the point that was around COVID.
Yeah.
And then we haven't watched it since COVID, in which case I don't know what the seasons would be like during COVID. You know what I mean? Like, right. I'm sure he still worked, but how did it change everything during that time period? Yeah. I think we got up to that, like, to 2019-ish, and then we stopped watching, so... Okay. We got a $2 tip here. Oh, by the way, let's get rid of this troll right now. Because I'm not stupid. That's something that I talked about earlier today. Someone finding an exploit on YouTube. So, and here's a troll, and we're going to ignore this troll here, too. A couple trolls have come in now, all collectively together.
Right, I've noticed that.
So, we're going to get rid of them and just ignore them. $10 tip from August. Have either of you had small animals as pets before? I have had guinea pigs, rabbits, rats. Most notably, I even owned a hedgehog who I now have tattooed on my arm. And thank you, Phil, for endorsing a local supermarket sandwich versus a Subway sandwich. I don't remember doing that. Did I do that? Did I say that a local supermarket sandwich would be better than Subway? I mean, I've eaten at local supermarket sandwiches before, and I think they're good. But I don't know anything about endorsing one versus the other. So, before we were together, did you own any other small pets before in your lifetime? Excuse me.
I've had dogs, but not small pets.
No small pets at all?
No, I had a hamster when I was really young.
Okay.
And then I had fish.
Oh.
I also had fish, and then I've had a couple of dogs.
Okay.
Those are the ones I've had.
Okay. You guys know the answer for me. When I was growing up, I had a pet rabbit. I had 2 pet rabbits. Sadly, one passed away within 2 years of owning her. The other rabbit lived like 13 years. Crazy long for a Netherlands dwarf. I owned hamsters when I was younger. And then I owned hamsters when I first moved in here. I had hamsters for like 2.5 years. So that's my history of, excuse me, of pets or small pets. So, okay. We already answered that last week, Andy. You said, what was the first game we ever played? My answer was Pong, and your answer, what was the first game you ever played? I forgot the answer already.
I don't remember, yeah. Super Mario World, I think.
Super Mario World, that was your answer, yep.
Yeah.
What kind of dogs did you own when you had dogs when you were younger? Do you remember?
I was like 5.
Oh, wow.
So I don't remember.
You don't remember the breeds? Were they big dogs, small dogs?
Oh, they were like medium dogs.
Okay.
So they weren't huge, but they weren't like little.
Yeah.
So.
Rich, your answer is as good as mine. Why did someone steal my grocery cart? Because they're an idiot. Because I told you, the only thing I can think is that it was an easy steal because maybe it was full of groceries and it was right near the door, so they thought, I can walk out the door and not have to put effort into stealing, right? I did have my shopping bags in the cart at the same time, so maybe they thought that's an added value to it. Or it could very be simply what the checkout person guessed that day was, this person's just addicted to stealing. They just steal whenever they can. So it was there, it presented the opportunity. What the hell? Easy, get away with it, done, right? It could have simply been that. You never know, right? All right, you know what? I think this is a good time. We're going to split the part and probably just take a quick break. Actually, I have to pee. So we're going to take a quick break, and what I'll probably do here is mute the mic and just put up the screen for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes for us to just take a quick break. I'm actually almost out of water, too. I want to refill. But we're going to come back and do one more hour, okay, everyone? So thanks. Just hold your questions for now. We'll be right back. Give us like 2-3 minutes. I'm just going to mute the mic, and we'll be right back. Okay.